Hey, all. Thanks for joining us on the podcast today. We've got a lot of interesting stuff to talk about. I'm looking forward to learning more about the shop service process.
Yeah, we compare some of the different features on the different anti-kickback devices and talk about who might benefit from them and who might not need them.
Exactly. And who might not need 32-inch wheels?
Yeah, and whether 32-inch wheels might make it so only tall riders dominate the sport.
They're going to destroy the world of biking.
We talk about adding weight to the bike for performance reasons and whether or not we could tell the difference and whether or not anyone needs that.
And that includes the new Rayon where you actually can do this.
And we take a pretty deep dive on the new Rayon, which looks awesome.
So join us today. We're looking forward to it.
It's October 1st, 2025. Welcome to the Path Podcast.
Oh, Nelly, it's October 1st already.
Hey, Ock. My name is Tani. As always with Ock.
Yeah, exactly.
Good to see you, bud.
It's good to see you too. I'm excited about podcasting today.
Yeah, jump right in.
Eager beaver.
I kind of wanted to start out with some updates about how things are going around the shop.
Let's do it.
Okay, so one thing we've talked about it on the show, but riders are still going to the old shop. We're moved. We're at 649 South B Street. There are no retail operations going on any longer at 215 West First Street.
Yep.
In Tustin.
649 and a half.
649.
649.
649 South B Street. It's about a half mile down B Street from the old original shop. And a couple things about that, like if you're wondering where do the takeoff parts go, they're here. You can ask us. We'll get them out.
Cool.
Some of them you can see from where we're sitting right now, but they're behind the counter now.
Yep. Yeah, and there's a bunch of, at least for the time being, cool stuff in boxes.
Right. And also now our takeoff parts are on the web store a lot of the time. Not all of them every time.
Right.
But a lot of the good ones are on the web store too, so you can check them out there.
Yeah, so come on in. You know, I was surprised to see when I walked in that you have some cool stuff in boxes marked way down.
So the whole retail side over at First Street, we're vacating it.
Yeah.
So all that stuff that you would see in our outlet store is packed into the 649 South B Street location.
That's fantastic.
If we still have it.
Yeah.
With the exception of, as of today, 33 bikes.
Oh my gosh.
My project is to have them out of there in the next 30 days, and also all of our displays and everything.
33 and 30.
So yeah, 3 months ago, I think there was 160 bikes in there.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we made good progress on moving out of there. And so there's that. There's also our service department's running a little bit differently than it did in the past. And it's in a way that it changes the experience for the customer, I think, in a really good way.
Yeah.
As you know, when you make a change and then afterwards you're like, wow, that was awesome. It's so much better now. And you're like, what exactly did we change? Because it's like a lot of times the differences are kind of subtle.
Right.
Okay. So almost everything I'm going to say was sometimes sort of true before.
Okay.
But now it's clockwork.
Okay. So what are some of those things?
So it starts off with, if you come in and you need a quick repair, we can often do it while you wait.
Okay.
If it's more than that, we can often form a plan with you on the spot, help you assess your bike, do an inspection, agree with you what your bike needs, give you a quote.
Got it.
See if we have the parts, create a timeline.
Got it.
Sometimes we can't do that on the spot.
Right.
So sometimes there's additional diagnostics that need to take place before we can do that.
Okay.
Or maybe there's a line and we can't be spending 15 to 20 minutes with each drop off at that moment.
Sure.
In which case that process just continues after you leave.
Right.
So we inspect the bike, we recommend work, we text you the recommendations and the prices. You can call us and talk to us about it if you want. Okay, now we have a timeline.
Right.
Backing up a little bit. If you drop your bike off, that next stage happens almost very, very often the same day, but almost always within a day or two.
Okay.
Maybe 3 days if there's complications. Maybe we're having trouble getting a hold of a vendor or like researching a part or like additional diagnostics keep happening. It's an ongoing diagnostics process, maybe back and forth with, say, one of the e-bike system manufacturers or something. So let's just say you come in, your e-bike doesn't turn on.
Right.
It's like, okay, drop it off. Usually that day or the next day we have it plugged in. We filed a report. We're working towards a resolution. And often by then we can establish a timeline, give you a price. If it's something that you're gonna have to pay for, give you a price.
Got it.
And then if your bike is rideable in its current state and safe to ride, if the timeline is, say we're waiting for a part.
Right.
And then we're going to do all the work when the part comes in. You can come back and you can get your bike and ride it until we're ready to do the work when we have the parts.
That's fantastic.
Or if we can get to that stage before you drop it off, you never have to leave it until we're ready to work on the bike.
Yeah.
Right. So like, let's say you come in and it's like, hey, my bike's not shifting well. And maybe we have time right then to do some minor checking. It's like, hey, we think, your chain is really worn. Looks like you probably need a new cassette. Maybe we have if we have those parts in stock, a lot of times it's like, we'll probably do that on Wednesday. Do you want to leave it or do you want to bring it back so we can do it on Wednesday? Or if we don't have the parts in stock,
we'll call you.
We'll text you when they get here and you can bring your bike in. And it just really, that initial, because what's the worst? You drop your bike off somewhere and then, they're scheduling for a week or two out. And then they just get to that first stage in a week.
Right.
So now we're at the stage of diagnostics, ordering parts maybe contacting warranty support.
Right.
A week in. We're not if we say we're scheduling for 4 days from now, that doesn't change the fact that we will have your diagnostics, scheduling, parts ordering process done within a day or two of when you bring your bike in.
Right. Right.
So that's, I think the fact that we're more consistent, the fact that we've gone from that's kind of a goal to that's just our process and we do it like that every time. I'd say that's how I would describe the difference.
Yeah. And from a customer experience, that's fantastic. I think from a workload balancing, that's got to be also.
It helps us with our scheduling.
Yep.
It also, there's a lot less in and out of the stand with it. If you don't do that, the tech gets the bike and they don't know what they're really getting into.
Right.
So by the time, a lot of times with this system, by the time the bike is in the stand with the tech who's going to do the real work, well, diagnostics is a big part of the work.
Right.
But the post-diagnostic work,
that
tech is usually pretty clear plan.
Right.
Doesn't mean they might not find more stuff along the way. Sometimes that could happen.
Right.
Right. But so anyway, I thought I've been thinking about it a lot. I've been just watching how it's better for the techs and better for the service riders and mostly, especially better for the riders.
Yeah.
And I've just been pleased with it. I've been like, how do I explain this because it's not like I said, it was already something we often did. It was already kind of a goal that we would get your diagnostic situation sorted before your service date. But there's a difference between that and that's just, hey, this is the process. This is our commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think like what you're saying, when that always happens, when there's an expectation of that process, I think initially it might be a little bit of stressful, a little bit of like, oh man, okay, that's an extra thing that we have to do. But once it's not extra work, that's the thing. It's not extra work.
It's front loading the work, but also probably streamlining it.
Yeah. And so in the long run, you actually end up spending less time.
Maybe. Well, especially if you add in all the times that you end up answering the phone and text of where's my bike if you don't get it back to people fast.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, to be able to have that diagnostic done up front, say you catch 80 or 90% of it, and the tech going into the work has confidence that you've caught 80 or 90% of it, and there might be a little bit extra that he catches along the way. But he has a lot of extra he's freed up mental capital to focus on the work and then catch that extra little 10%. Do a good job. So I think when all of that is said and done, and people start seeing the benefits on efficiency, it really it boosts. I say it boosts the morale.
Yep, I would agree with that. And the overarching thing is that it improves the rider experience, the customer experience. Because
Very much.
even if everything happened on the same timeline, having a little more information 2 or 3 days in, or a lot more information 2 or 3 days in about your precious bicycle, and I mean that as someone who feels this way about the bike,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Like if I didn't have my bike and I didn't know what was going on with it, if I had to endure that for only a couple of days versus a week, that would be nice for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So
yeah. I think it really helps. Yeah, in so many ways. That's great.
So it's better service. I think the big thing is it's a commitment to a higher. We're always trying to find new ways to improve our service, and I think this is a good one.
I agree.
Cool.
I agree.
Other news. Pivot demo, November 8th.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That'll probably be a couple weeks after this show airs. Actually, a few weeks.
That will be here at 649 South B Street, and you'll be able to drive the Pivot to local trails. You'll be able to have it for maybe an hour or two.
Oh, fantastic.
Yep. And they'll have e-bikes and muscle bikes. They'll have new shuttle SLAMs with smaller batteries and lighter weight and
cool.
Bosch motors. And they'll have new shuttle AMs, just minus the SL.
With the bigger battery.
And with Gen 5 race motors.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the Pro and the Team. We have those in stock now with screens. Kiox 400Cs.
Wow.
Highly sought after.
Yep.
The topic of much FOMO. So those would be cool to demo.
Yep.
I want to demo a Trailcat.
I was just thinking that too.
I kind of want to demo a Trailcat SL and a Trailcat LT.
Yeah. Maybe we could take 2 out.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be.
That could be a whole thing. So yeah, Pivot demo November 8th at the Path Bike Shop.
So are you going to get a kiosk?
I am not super jonesing for a kiosk. I'm not saying I'm not going to get one, but I'm not going to get one while they're right now. So right now, if we get a new Santa Cruz Boulder Volley, it has a kiosk. It's the same exact bike as the ones we've been getting, except it has a kiosk, and it's the same price.
Wow.
And I can't get kiosks right now. We got 10.
Yeah,
we got 10. I kind of maybe shouldn't have, but I let them go up on the web store, and most of them sold right away.
Oh, got it.
And probably it would have been smarter for me to keep them and use them to make sure no one has a reason. Because there's people who will not buy a Volley or a Bullet because they want the kiosks.
Right. So if you had those, you could.
It would, yeah. But if you're that person, you contact me. We'll work something out.
Right.
We got ways.
That's fantastic.
Right? So there's that. Did you see Maxis showed a pre-production Aspen 32?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. I want to circle back on 32, but I feel like that's just news.
That is.
I had a great conversation with Mike, our buddy, about 32, and we've had some really. Definitely, it's a podcast in and of itself.
Is that Mike from Push?
Yeah. I'll give you the teaser. Is he thinks that if the UCI allows 32, it will create an unsurmountable. Maybe I might be overstating it, but an unsurmountable unfair advantage for taller riders.
Ooh.
It's an interesting theory. I'm not totally on board, but I see his point, and I see how if you took it to a big enough extreme, maybe there could, like an ant's not going to meet me at a downhill race.
Okay. Who's the ant in this?
Well, between Mike and I'm the ant.
You could almost. Right. But I don't know if that's.
But I don't think the scale.
That's not a big enough discrepancy.
Edges of scale show an idea, but they don't. Anyway, OC MTB Limestone race, November 22nd. That should be a really beautiful venue.
Yeah.
One of the most beautiful race venues. I think.
And that time of year, like this time of year, is going to be fantastic.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's the week before Thanksgiving. Can you believe we're talking about stuff coming up towards Thanksgiving?
I know. Time is really going by fast.
Yeah, no kidding.
We've been doing half off demo bikes.
Oh.
And it's been really popular, and it's like gotten some people to try some bikes that they wouldn't have tried otherwise. And of course they fell in love. So
come on by.
Well, it expires by the time this show comes out, that promo will have been expired.
Got it.
But we made the decision today to extend it through all of October.
You're hearing it first.
Yeah. So the demo bike half off promo extended through all of October. All demo fees are 100% credit towards any bike you buy at the Path for up to 6 months.
Wow.
Book them online, sign the waiver online. You get the bike till the next day.
Yeah.
You really have some time to ride it.
Has anyone done? Remember, I feel like it's been a couple of years now, maybe a few years now, where we talked about someone could demo enough bikes to buy a bike.
Yes.
How close to that have we come?
Well, I've had people use over $3,000 in demo fees on a bike. The bike they bought was more than $3,000, but in theory, I mean, if the bike they had wanted was $3,000, they would have just been able to apply all of their demo fees and buy it and have the bike. Right. So if you could amass $3,000, if you, whatever the amount of demo fees that you can amass in 6 months, you could be renting to own, I guess.
That is fantastic.
Wear out our brake pads, wear out our tires. Be nice to us, though.
Right, exactly.
Don't be the reason that I changed the program. But if all you do is return the bike in more or less the same shape that you bought it or left with it, and even if maybe if you had an unfortunate situation where you crashed and scratched the bike, even that's fine.
Right.
Like the big thing is, I mean, don't make it so don't abuse anything so badly that it starts costing us too much to run the program.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
But as far as having the fees and using them, that's not considered abusing the program. In fact, I would warmly invite you to do so.
That's fantastic. We should almost have that person on like a little clip.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of demos.
Yeah.
That's good for whoever that was.
Now, if you're demoing, the demo fees are not super low.
Right.
So, but they are when they're half off.
Yeah.
There you go.
Exactly.
A little bit more news. I saw a headline on Pink Bike that BLM opened 200 miles of single track to Class 1 e-bikes in Moab.
Yeah. I read that too.
That's pretty cool.
That is exciting.
You made the comment that people are probably already riding e-bikes on those trails.
I did.
The show, which I have no doubt of.
Yeah. But the fact that we have the fact that we're moving in the right direction, government agency is recognizing legitimacy of Class 1 e-bikes.
That is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I feel like there seemed to have the sense that it's kind of like, popcorn in the pot and the first one pops.
Yeah.
Then a little bit of time goes by and then 2 more pop.
Yeah.
And then like all of a sudden it's 3 and then all of a sudden they're just all popping.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm hoping / thinking maybe that's where we're at with Class 1 e-bike legislation.
Yeah. I wasn't there, but I heard that a few months ago there was a pretty large showing of mountain bikers at a county board of supervisors meeting to, advocate for the same thing in the Orange County trails.
Thank you to everyone who did that.
Exactly. That's huge.
Yeah. A little bit of sad news. YT Europe has entered into some sort of unfortunate restructuring.
Yeah.
Sounds like YT USA is continuing on for now.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah. That's...
And maybe trying to, who is a CEO, maybe trying to buy the brand back.
I think it's an indication of the times. I think a lot of the brands and a lot of the shops there's definitely been headwinds in the industry for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that does eventually lead to some sad outcomes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Support your local bike shop.
Exactly. I was also reading about what is it? Fusion Carbon rim maker.
Yeah, so we have 3 sets up there, I think, of forge and bond wheels that were made by them that just lost their warranty.
Right.
So if anyone wants a killer deal on a really nice, good ride, I mean, Brian talks about those being the first carbon rims that he could tell the difference.
Wow.
Like they're supposed to be really smooth.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Are those looks like you got a set of 29ers and a set of MX?
I think it's 229 sets. I think one's very cross country and one's more all mountain.
Got it. So yeah, it's kind of a sign of the times. You know, that's really unfortunate that these things are going on.
It is. That reminds me of another bit of shop news.
Okay.
We added a new feature to our website.
What's that?
Okay. So sometimes we have a bike in stock that for whatever reason didn't sell within, let's say for us, if a bike is here for 6 months, that's a long time.
Okay.
If a bike's here for 8 months, that's for sure a long time. Right. So if we have a bike, say we have more than we want to of a bike and we overestimated its popularity, but the minimum advertised price has not gone down. So ethically and contractually, we have to stick to that price on our advertising.
Sure.
But we're allowed to have it on sale.
Right.
If we need to sell it, we're allowed to have a sale.
Right.
So what we've done is we've added a button on our web store that says, you click it, it's like, I think the button says get your sale price or get sale price.
Right.
You click the button, it automatically shows which bike, because you're on the page of the bike,
right?
Which bike you're asking about. You put in your name and phone number, and it automatically auto fills the question, like what's the sale price on this bike. You put in your name and phone number, you send it to us, and we get back to you with the sale price. And if you like, we send you an invoice to buy the bike at that price. Cool. Super easy, it's a lot of these prices are great deals that we just a little too low to advertise.
Right.
So maybe go on our web store and check out some of the bikes that you can get.
Maybe I'll start.
I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a hint. Right off the bat is like some really cool new all mountain muscle bikes came out this year that I was like very impressed with. But muscle bikes aren't selling like e-bikes right now, so we have a lot of them. So like so yeah. I've been
thinking about muscle bikes.
Yeah. Like maybe a Hightower.
Yeah.
For example. Or a Bronson.
Tall boy?
Tall boy, I think we're towards the end of the product cycle on this tall boy. If you think about how long this frame has been the same, and just how the product cycle works, I think we're toward the end of the product cycle. I have to be careful what I say.
Horse link.
Because I know
Horse link.
Yeah.
Horse
Wouldn't
link.
that be awesome?
Oh my gosh.
That's what I
link,
want it to
boy.
be. Yeah.
All right. I won't make you talk too much on
that.
that.
I want it to be a horse link tall boy.
With 130 travel.
I think 120 travel in the back, 130 front.
Yeah. 120 is what it is now.
Maybe it's 130. You know what? I'm less worried about the travel. I want the frame to weigh less than 6.5 pounds with the shock and the rear axle.
Yeah.
Maybe under 6 if possible. Those original tall boys, I think, were around 5 pounds with a shock and a rear axle.
I want to say like 5 1/4. Yeah. Something like that.
And they never broke.
Yeah.
Like you notice how it's kind of freaky. They're like made by elves or something.
You know why?
Why?
Because we were crushing rims before we were breaking bikes.
Maybe, but we still have customers on those bikes.
Oh my god!
And they're still kind of a lot, and they're still going.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of crazy. Like people on their like second or third fork.
Oh my gosh.
Like second or third set of brakes.
Yeah.
Third drivetrain, fourth drivetrain,
X number of bearings. Exactly. X number of bearings.
Yeah, and they still get free bearings from Santa Cruz.
It's amazing
if they need them.
Yeah.
Which actually they don't very often.
That's That's impressive. Yeah, so like a high tower. Yeah.
So I really don't know what direction Santa Cruz is going with this topic.
Right.
But based on the reaction to the Bullet and Vala, and based on the general rider reaction, and based on also how I feel about it, I think they would be smart to start moving to horse link on a number of their bikes. And what I will say is, I have heard from inside sources that the term that I heard was suspension agnostic.
That's fantastic.
Right.
That is fantastic.
Right. So curious, open,
and
going for whatever actually works best on that bike.
Yeah.
Right. So,
and it may not be the same for all bikes.
I would think probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, as an example of how we know probably not, a lot of the lighter cross country and down country bikes don't even have a linkage. Really, they have a flex stay.
Yeah.
They don't have a full linkage, right?
Right, exactly.
And one of the crew here the other night was actually talking to me about that. And I made a comment about there's a new bike coming out from Norco, the new Revolver.
Okay.
And it's 130 and it looks awesome. It has
a flex stay.
It has a flex day, and it has kind of like almost original Process 111 lines.
Nice.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
The numbers are really good. I think it's going to be pretty light. And I was talking about, I was like, well, it has a flex day. And I was like, I think that's okay because it seems like a lot of riders in that category prefer the trade-off of a flex day, right?
Yeah.
And I've talked about what it is about flex days that kind of turns me off to them as a rider on the show. And I think maybe sometimes people can take that as me maybe poo-pooing flex days, or maybe even take it personal, like their identity, right? Like, it's like, well, hey, if those are if you would rather save, I think sometimes it's up to 300 grams. Right. I think
that's a significant amount. I mean, that's
right. If you'd rather save that, I get it. Yeah. Right. And it still works. It still does stuff. It still works pretty good. So, and I think Cruz who the flex day is, I think there's I think it's some sort of function of rider weight, general peak velocities of the rider, general peak NAR of the trails the rider rides. And I think you get this algorithm of like, are you going to overwhelm that suspension?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think if you're under maybe 170, you're a lot less likely to.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to push the bike outside of like downcountry trail riding, you're also like, I think at 180, if I always rode that bike on downcountry type trip, like didn't try to go fast down hawk on it, for example, I would never have an issue.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think there's a lot of people.
And the guy I was talking to made the point, maybe that bike's not meant for that. Right. And like, are you running tires that are meant for that? And
Right.
It's like, yeah, you can kind of shred hawk on XC tires.
Yeah.
But
yeah, totally.
Still.
I mean, Tallboy, Gen 1 Tallboy with.
I do think one of my fastest times down hawk was on a Gen 1 Tallboy with like 600 gram tires.
Yeah. I mean, what were those tires called?
Ground Control S-Works or something.
Yes, exactly.
They were paper thin. They were scary. They were scary paper thin.
How did we not? Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah,
I guess we were flatting tubeless tires back then.
More than we do now, for sure.
Yeah.
And we were just because you're going down hawk with some effort, like trying to go fast, doesn't mean you're riding with like you're still babying those tires a little bit, right? Like, and sometimes
which might actually lead to a PR. Sometimes really fast.
I really agree with you that sometimes when you like have some external reason that makes you feel like you have to focus on smoothness and control, sometimes you go faster.
I agree with that. Yeah. So some of those things. So yeah, like a high tower. Yeah, for sure. You know what I was looking at too was the 5010. The MX, the 5010 is MX 130 rear travel.
Yes.
That's an exciting bike.
It is.
Yeah.
The 5010 has always been,
but always liked it.
Yeah. I mean, going back to when it was called the Solo, we've both had our ongoing thing with that bike.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's a great
And
point.
I never really thought of it this clearly before, but like if you're a 50-10 rider, you might also be attracted to the SL e-bike category if you're an e-bike rider.
Yeah.
It's kind of that same set of desires.
Right. Right. Like a fluid VLT.
Right.
Yeah, I weighed my fluid VLT. I think it's like 41 pounds. And it's not even trying to be light.
Right. That bike can get down to 38.
Yeah.
Without getting too crazy even.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty crazy, but.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, geez. Yeah, that's... So, anyways, fluid VLT. What else is going on? We talked a little bit about the Tall Boy and Hightower.
I am really excited. I really felt I benefited greatly from the article that Pink Bike did a couple weeks ago about anti-kickback devices.
Yeah.
And there were 2 paragraphs in particular that really made a big difference for me.
Okay.
It opened my eyes to some ideas.
Okay.
So there's the paragraph on the O-chain uphill.
Right.
And on the O-chain downhill.
Right.
Or maybe it's the uphill paragraph that compares the O-chain to the E13 sidekick.
Yeah.
And the downhill paragraph that compares those two.
Right.
And one of the things I wasn't totally clear on is that the O-chain has kind of an elastomer type thing that makes it so when you clunk to the end of the free stroke, it's soft.
Yeah. And it's ramping, and it's like progressive. It's ramping up as you get there.
And they commented that gave it a smoother feel on climbs.
Yeah.
Which I hadn't even really thought much about how potentially clunky the climbing experience might be in some situations. I'd thought a little bit about it, but what I hadn't thought about is that like a clink moment.
Exactly. The 18 degree of
yeah. Which I now have the DT anti-kickback device on my bike.
Ooh.
Which fits any dag hub.
Yep.
And seems really cool.
Yeah.
And it can do, I think, adjustable from 0 to 20 degrees of float. So I have it on the 20 degree setting right now. And I think if I pedal how I normally pedal, it's not going to do that harsh clank as I hit the power.
Right.
But if I panic pedaled, it would. Like I was kind of playing with it like, okay, now pedal like I'm really spazzing out. Right. And it does.
Clank, clank.
Yeah, it does. So there's that.
What about ratcheting? It seems like the ratchet is going to cause it to...
Yeah. I think that you are correct. Well, here's the thing. If you're ratcheting at very low speeds, I don't think it will. And also, I want to get into the e-bike versus not e-bike too, because if it's on an e-bike and you're ratcheting, the overrun might keep it engaged, which I experienced.
Oh, that's right, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you ratchet to kick the overrun in, and the overrun keeps that pawl engaged.
Right. Also on an e-bike, depending on what gear you're in and just which bike it is and a couple other little variables, very likely you're going to freewheel your front chain ring at the motor, not at the cassette when you ratchet.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
So, yes, maybe. Sometimes. Depends.
Man, could you make both happen? You
maybe.
Pick up a little bit of slack in the motor, and then you pick up the rest of it in the...
Good question. So I haven't taken my bike off road since I put since I put the anti-kickback upgrade in my hub.
What bike is it on? The Bullet?
The Bullet, yeah.
Yeah.
Really easy to install. For $212, you can get it comes with the tool to install it.
Oh, okay.
You can change. You know how it's really easy to pull the driver off a DTO?
Yeah.
You can change from 0 to 5, all the different floats, just once you have the driver off without any tools.
Yeah.
So you could do that trailside.
Yeah. I think that DT did the best at illustrating. I've seen a couple of animations of theirs illustrating how this works.
Yeah.
It's,
on the descending side, I thought the article really highlighted that the sidekick at the DT thing wasn't out yet.
Right. But the
the
sidekick
is very has I think also 20 degrees of float.
Yeah, or 18 or something like that.
Close to that. And they were saying it has more than the O chain.
Right.
And maybe does more.
Right. Yeah. Impacts the chain growth more.
Or
inhibits
unrestricts the suspension more.
Right.
And we've had some pretty spirited conversations around the shop about like, does anyone really need this? Right. And like, does it even do what it says it does?
Right.
It's like like sometimes part of the conversation, but also even if it does, like, who is this benefiting? What can they tell the difference? How much difference does it make?
Right.
So,
I mean, if somebody can't perceive the difference, but it is actually assisting them in their riding, that person's better for it.
Maybe. I mean, I think there's something to that. Like, I don't have to know that I don't have cancer to be better for not having cancer. Not to make light of cancer, and like it's funny because it's sad and scary, right?
Right. I mean, what I was thinking is like cornering, control, like all of that. You may not feel that the suspension is unrestricted, but you are quite possibly riding smoother.
Right. There's also, so how much does it help related to, can you tell?
Right.
And then there's also, is it worth the downsides? Which that dead spot in your pedal stroke for some is more of a downside than others, for sure. I question the O chain, like I worry about lost power on the elastomer thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
I wonder about durability on the more on the E13 and the DT Swiss.
I'm pretty convinced that on longer travel bikes with somewhat significant chain growth and that it's probably a pretty big difference. But I've yet to like really experience it. But I kind of believe the lore around the legendary chainless runs and the suspension was working better. Yeah. And I mean, I see the anti-squat numbers, and those are what that means is that your suspension is resisting compression when your chain is loaded up. So which is one of the observations that we're making about the Vala and the Bullet is reducing anti-squat. You know, by using the horse link and feeling like they're trying to tune out the. Have you seen if these bikes actually have less anti-squat? I'm not sure if they do or don't. I know that I've seen rocker arm horse link bikes where they have a lot of anti-squat on the chart. I'm sort of. It makes sense to me though that you could potentially produce a bike. It might be difficult to produce a low anti-squat bike with VPP.
Right.
Especially with original traditional VPP because the whole idea is a bunch of chain growth.
Right.
Although that got toned down a lot through the years with VPP, but I think you could still get a fair amount of anti-squat in there depending on where you put the pivots. Right? Yeah. Like with a horse link rocker arm. Man, there's a lot of good stuff going on. We're both looking over at this Orbea Rallon.
Yeah.
I mean, are we done with anti-kickback?
I mean, I'm sure we're going to come back to it when both of us have had a chance to ride it.
I'll just say it's probably not for, like, the more XC the bike and the ride fantasy is, probably the less you need it.
Yeah.
And so probably if the flex stage suspension design feels great to you and you never feel like you're overwhelming it or anything,
then maybe not.
And that's the style. Like, obviously, on a short travel bike like that, it's probably not going to make that much difference anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So, like, if your ride style is endurance, adventure, long distance, high speed uphill, XC race, and you've got a short travel bike, obviously this is probably not for you.
Right.
If you have If you're a downhiller and a downhill bike, maybe it is, right? Like, and then in all mountain might be like maybe the 50-50 line.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just kind of speculating.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe Enduro's the 50-50 line on this. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe it just turns out to be kind of gimmicky and we're not that into it after all.
I don't know.
think so. I think it's a real thing.
I think it's a real thing.
I'm excited about it.
And I'm excited. I'm envious of your bullet right now.
Do you have any DT deg hubs?
I don't.
Okay. Well, maybe
I do, but it's on my gravel bike.
Interesting. Yeah.
But
well, all these reserves that we have hanging up here have deg hubs.
ooh.
And if you got an XO bullet or Vola, it probably came with a deg hub. So you didn't, but just to our listeners.
Yeah.
So
what was I going to say? Oh man, your bullet now has the inverted, has the podium and
my bullet's stretching pretty hard right now. High rise bars, anti-kickback device, inverted fork.
Yep. No hand guards.
Kind of want to. I feel like hand guards, you're shred signaling either way.
Right. Man, that is there's a couple of significant changes on that bike. It'll be interesting to see how long it takes for you to get used to it again.
Yeah.
Because I think anti-kickback is going to change.
Do you think it's going to change it so much that I have to make adjustments?
I think so.
I hope so. That'd be awesome. I'm speculating, I guess, maybe that it feels really plush and active, but maybe not so much that I have to change my riding style. Maybe, but who knows?
I mean, maybe that extra tension is making us do things that we don't know that we were doing.
Like losing traction?
Yeah. But we're adjusting to it. Like our ride style has adjusted to this because it is always happening. And then all of a sudden it's going to go away.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to unadjust.
You're like applying the lessons learned
from the inverted forks. Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting.
Can't get away from inverted forks.
Yeah. So the Rayon.
The Rayon, yeah.
Look at it. So a couple things right off the bat. Brian pointed out to him it reminds him of the original 111 frame. I think it kind of reminds me too of the Uno design.
Yeah.
So just super low top tube.
Yeah.
Very, very low top tube, which I think functionally is the best and looks the best.
Yeah.
And I mean low, like lower than your bike.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's, we've always kind of talked about how, just beyond the Rayon is the pivot. What is that over there? Is that a Firebird?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a straight line from the head tube through the rear axle.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that look. And I think as a design cue, I kind of think that maybe some designers are going for that.
Now, if you can get that top tube so steep that you can't match it with the seat stays, that's okay with me. Because that's what we're looking at here.
That's what I'm saying here is I think that's a really cool design feature.
Yeah.
That's a shred signal for a designer.
So right before the show, we were talking about the bike in the shop, and one of the guys was like, I don't know about that bike. Like, I don't know if, who needs to put weights on their bike? Because this bike has the ability to add weights to the lower carrier,
right.
like the pro downhillers are doing.
Right.
And I want to talk about adding weights to your bike. I think we've talked about it a little bit, but I want to come back to that.
Yeah.
But my answer was, you know what? I don't think that's in the top 3 coolest things about the bike. I was like, I do think it's cool that you can add weights to it.
Yeah.
But to me, it's not in the top 3 coolest things about the bike. Maybe the top 4. He's like, well, what are the top 4 coolest things about the bike then? And I was like, well, to me, the fact that it's rated for a dual crown fork.
Oh, is that right?
Right. And he was like, okay, well, so is the transition control. And I'm like, oh, so you're saying it's good, like a transition control. Because I had one of those and I loved it. Right. And actually, I think the coolest thing about it actually is the lower shock carrier that can be changed out to convert it. You change the lower shock carrier, the rear shock, and you put a dual crown fork on it, and it's a downhill bike. Maybe add some downhill tires.
Ooh.
So that ties into that it's rated for a dual crown.
Yeah.
It's also Their downhill bike is the same frame with a different lower shock carrier, a different shock, and a different part spec, a dual crown fork.
Yeah.
So you could have a park enduro bike and a downhill bike all in one with an extra carrier, an extra rear shock, and an extra fork.
I mean, you could put a dual crown and just short.
You could do that too. And I think
Slightly.
compared to most of the enduro bikes we have in the shop, the suspension kinematics and just all the design cues feel more downhill. It's a downhill bike with an enduro setup option, right?
Yeah.
So super modular. I think that's the coolest thing about it. So we've got
super modular.
rated for dual crown fork, convertible from downhill to park and enduro. To me, the third coolest thing about it is the lines, like we talked about already. It looks awesome, and when you're laying the bike over in flat turns, when you have to break the plane, and your knee has to come across the top tube, having it low and out of the way like that, I don't care if you're tall or short. That's awesome.
It's helpful, yeah.
If you're short, it's extra awesome because that's even harder for you. But even for taller riders, having that top tube out of the way when you want to break the plane and drape your knee across it, really good.
Man.
Now, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So the whole adding weights thing.
Yeah.
To me, this is one of those things that one of the reasons that I have like an extra love for this conversation is because my view of it is that e-bikes taught us this. Some people knew.
Yeah.
I have heard this, you know what? Really kind of smart, semi-kooky people have been saying this since the 90s.
Right.
But I didn't necessarily all the way buy in. Well, let me say this. I used to try to get my downhill bikes down to about 37, 38 pounds.
Okay. Yeah.
My current worldview is that I like how a bike handles better somewhere around 40 to 42 pounds. And as I keep riding heavier bikes, that number's coming up.
Right.
And what I'm seeing is they do, and these kind of people that had, like, there was this odd outlier that knew this, and a lot of times they were a little kooky. But I wasn't one of them. I was aware of the idea. I was curious about it, but I didn't believe it. It wasn't my worldview. But as I rode heavier and heavier bikes, I noticed just how much less they deflect.
Yeah.
So some people talk about the suspension working better on heavier bikes, and I think it does. But
it's the deflection.
There's less deflection. Yeah. And it's pretty not very complicated physics that a heavier object is going to deflect less as its deflective forces at a given speed, assuming the speed's the same.
Yeah. And I guess that could carry over into the tires too. Right.
So just for that reason, it just appeals to me because I love when XC people learn from downhillers. I love when downhillers learn from XC people. I love when regular mountain biking learns from e-biking So it just adds a layer of just fun for me. I like that kind of thing. But also I'm curious. So you can add just a little over a pound of weight to it.
Okay.
Which, when I think about it, it's like
maybe that's not a lot.
Yeah, would I be able to tell? Yeah. I wonder if I'd be able to tell. I can't wait to do the blind taste test someday and see if I can tell.
Yeah.
But I did used to try to keep my downhill bikes around 38 pounds.
Yeah.
And I really do believe now that I probably
might put it at 40.
Try to get my downhill bike over 40.
Yeah.
Which is kind of an interesting idea.
Yeah, because can you imagine taking your bullet and then taking it down to 42, 40, like right around that, just shedding a few pounds, not a whole bunch. I think that would be an amazingly.
You ever notice too, though, that a 49, 50 pound bike doesn't feel awkward anymore the way it used to?
Yeah.
Or not the way it used to.
Yeah.
There's still ways in which it limits me.
Right.
But actually at any given speed on a trail, not much.
Yeah. And we talk about the bullet being, quote, lively.
Yeah.
And that's right up there, right?
But I really think that like Heckler SL weight might be like like a 42, 43 pound downhill bike might be. And I think the more leverage you have and the more power you have, maybe the heavier your optimal bike is. Maybe. And maybe the faster you're going too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
sorry, I'm just really excited about the Rayon.
It's great looking, right?
It's really great. And man, how often have I thought about, man, if I could just pedal my downhill bike? Remember the Dare? The Ellsworth Dare.
What do you think the head angle was on that? I think I know, and it's
67 or 8.
I think it was 68.
Yeah.
And that is frightening.
It is. But that thing was like a 7 or 8-inch travel bike.
Yeah, and a lot of us took those things down some pretty gnarly trails.
Yeah. My Saint Specific, I had yours after with the quote Saint Specific.
I drove down to Ellsworth and personally picked that thing up from the factory.
That thing was awesome.
That was a fun day.
Yeah, and but one of the cool things is you could pedal that thing. You could pedal that thing all around.
Yeah. It was pretty light for a downhill bike, and it had efficient pedaling kinematics and a fairly steep seat angle.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm looking at this Rayon, and like it's improvements on a lot of that, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously, and it's that crossing over. Every time I see cool downhill bikes, I think, I wonder if I could pedal that thing.
I get asked that a lot in the shop.
Can you just?
Yeah. I tell them you have to be really stubborn.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe like pain, but I know I've seen people do it, and you might end up more pushing it than pedaling it on something else.
Yeah, totally. And the thing about the Rayon is it looks slender.
Yes. Yeah, it's like they made a point of making sure you could tell it's definitely not an e-bike.
Yeah. It's a 170 rear, 33.2 degree head angle. Holy moly.
It's available in 2 different chainstay length options across all the sizes.
Nice.
So you order it or get it. We
Longer,
ordered some with longer chainstays and some with shorter chainstays, but we ordered mostly the smalls and mediums with shorter chainstays,
right?
And the larges and extra larges with the longer chainstays.
After the show is done, I'm going to weigh that thing.
And I believe it also, if I remember correctly, has adjustable reach at the head tube.
Oh,
I think, if I remember correctly.
That is awesome. If not, looks like it's got a head tube that you could put at adjustable reach.
Right. Yeah. Definitely has, it looks like 1.5 top and bottom, or 56 top and bottom.
Yep.
I think that is 56 top and bottom.
That's exciting. Okay, after the show, I'm going to weigh it. And, yep. The deflection
What's your
is
guess
really...
on the weight? 36?
Yeah, I'm going to say 35.
Okay. I think that's a good guess.
Yep. Man, there's still other things going on.
There's so much going on.
There is. I read a story about SRAM speeding up the shifting on the axis.
Yes.
But it's only when you do multi-shift, like 3 shifts and above.
Oh, interesting.
So at least that's my understanding of kind of the read on it. And it's not, if you do this on your e-bike, it'll void the warranty.
Okay.
Not on the e-bike, but on the
cassette engine.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Maybe because it's, yeah.
Are they asking you to not shift under load?
Ooh,
if you do that?
Interesting.
If you do the quick multi-shift?
I don't think so. Not that I read. I think it said just don't do it on your, it'll be quicker on your muscle bike.
I haven't read about it, but I think I understand why they can do that. Why they can only do it on the multi-shift.
On this.
And I think the reason it's sometimes a little slow is you have to wait for it to come around to the release point. But once you're at the release point, the derailleur can push it past multiple release points all at once.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
And that's probably also why you're in that, maybe in that situation, your chain doesn't, normally with transmission, your chain is always engaged.
In all the points. Yeah.
with something.
Yeah.
And maybe your chain isn't all the way engaged when that happens.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
But I imagine the release points are spaced in such a way that the derailleur just takes you through all of them all at once.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah. I wonder what the most multi-shifts you can program into your, can you imagine?
Yeah, I don't know.
6 all at once.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if that would be good.
Yeah. Anyways.
I just want to share an awesome, sometimes I hear something in the shop and I'm like, our audience has to hear this.
Yeah.
Sitting in the shop and there's this guy shopping. Out of nowhere, all I hear is just like, you're doing like a lot of stuff and it's almost like if you're not talking to that person and maybe you're even trying to pay attention to something someone else is saying. It's just like Charlie Brown. Like
Right.
Parents. But then out of nowhere, for some reason, it enters my
space.
My focus turns to it probably because of what I'm hearing. And it's like, yeah, my dad put clipless pedals on his beach cruiser and we're going to go ride 100 miles.
Oh, man.
I think, and like, I bet they did. Like, he seemed like they were definitely going to do that.
That is fantastic. Oh, man. Is that a good place to end?
I guess we have so much to talk about.
We do.
Gotta stop sometime.
We could keep on.
Should we talk a little bit about 32?
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay.
How can I forget about that? Let's talk 32.
Okay, so the thing I keep noticing is everyone is saying all the same things they said about 29.
I don't hear it as vehemently. Is that the right way?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you an example of
Okay.
someone saying the same things they said about 29, and I'm going to say this.
Okay.
Tani said, I don't know if it's for me.
Okay.
So that's someone saying the same thing they said about 29.
Yeah, but that's not very vehement. I mean, yeah.
Only for big riders, I've heard that quite a bit.
Okay.
Let's see. Maybe the UCI should ban it. That's a 29. That's coming back from 29. Doesn't look good. Looks silly. That's coming back from 29.
I think it looks kind of cool.
That's what Brian said. I agree. I'm kind of forgetting some of the criticisms.
Yeah. Harder to accelerate.
So, yeah, we had some really classic conversations back in the day, you and I, Hawk, about I think just about if 29ers climb well. Or something. I remember being like, so are you saying the bike is always accelerating? And you were like, well, kind of.
Always decelerating. But yeah.
So yeah, 29. I think it's actually a really interesting question for downhill in particular, but for cross country too. Will it give bigger riders an advantage, and will it be such an advantage that it becomes like basketball, where it's like
Tall people.
you almost have to be tall?
Yeah.
Like you'll see the occasional shorter basketball player, but short for basketball is probably 5'10". Like
Yeah.
and that's really short for basketball.
Right.
Probably. So is it going to do that to mountain biking? Right. Like my theory is probably not, but I see why the question is there. Oh, it's going to ruin the trails. That's another one.
Has somebody really said that?
Oh yeah. And you know what? It does make, if the braking bumps are made by 29, you probably don't want to ride it on a 26. So yeah, like 29 makes different braking bumps than 26.
Yeah.
But overall, no, they didn't ruin the trails.
Right.
In fact, I think probably less skidding, more traction, better for the trails.
Right.
And bigger contact surface is probably also
totally.
better for the trails. Just guessing, I don't know. But I do think, what I think is that taller riders currently have a slight disadvantage against medium-sized riders in the sport of cycling because we haven't scaled the equipment quite to their needs.
Right.
And I think they will have, to the degree that taller riders have a slight disadvantage in cycling, it'll help. It will make that less or make it go away.
Right.
And I don't think they really do have much of a disadvantage in cycling, because it seems to me like people of all heights do great in all disciplines of cycling.
Right.
All the way from like really short to really tall, at all levels of high elite competition. Right.
Yeah.
Mike pointed out he thought that when 29ers first came out, taller guys started to dominate downhilling more, and only when we got mixed wheels did we start to see some of the shorter guys get back into the dominant position. And Minar's pretty tall. Minar's tall.
Yeah.
He's not that. I mean, what is he? Probably 6'1".
Minar?
Mm. Or no, 6'3".
I think he's like 6'3", yeah.
Aaron Gwynn's probably 6'1". 6 feet.
6 feet maybe.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Gwynn is even shorter than 6.
He might be under 6. So he was still dominant.
Yeah.
I guess he wasn't dominating in the full, was he? Anyway, I don't see, I'm skeptical that, I think cycling is kind of like running, where like a lot of different body types can do it good. Or like wrestling.
Yeah. Right.
There's also another one of those sports. It's just like, you could be tall, it gives you some advantages, some disadvantages. There's elite people that way and every other way.
Right.
Like, so we'll see. But I do kind of see the point of like, if the wheels got big enough that they really created a specific advantage, but only a certain height of rider could really harness that.
Right.
I could kind of see what he's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
I just don't think that's actually how it would play out in this situation.
Right.
And I do think, though, that
you'd need a bike size for Yao Ming for that to happen, maybe.
And then you would need a bunch of Yao Ming shredding Whistler as kids or whatever, like shredding as kids and building those skills and like.
Right.
Yeah, what I do think is like, I'm really curious to see if I would like it on like a short travel XC type bike.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see how like medium tall and pretty tall people would like it with mixed 29 rear and 32 front. Like I think probably someday
that
most of the extra large downhill bikes and enduro bikes might be that way, right?
32, 29.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could picture that world.
Yeah. You'll have 3 sets of tires on your walls here.
Yep. We've been there before. We had 26, 27 and a half and
true.
29 all at the same time before. 26 is pretty rare these days.
Yeah. Except for dirt jumpers, yeah.
And 27 and a half seems will need rears.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Wow. So heavier tires.
Tires will get heavier. Yeah. Yeah, and this is where like, it's part of that whole everything's just trade-offs, right? Like
will the heavier and more rotating mass.
We might even see another round of new hub standards and or headset standards to accommodate the extra leverage.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like
totally.
which again happened with 29. People didn't like it. But
at some point, does the heaviness of the tire outweigh the benefit that it gains you?
Right. I think that's part of the scale question.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, if you're big enough that it makes that wheel size actually fit you better, then maybe that weight is more negligible to you. Like,
but if you're putting out, I guess. Yeah, it'd be interesting.
It's like, you gain some weight, but it also covers ground better and gets stuck in holes less. It's just this, but the fact that it gains,
but it's harder to accelerate.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
And does the athlete's strength overcome that?
That's kind of what I'm saying is I think on average those over 6 feet tall people are probably on average maybe
like generating more wattage.
Maybe. I mean, they probably have to generate more wattage to walk and run.
Yeah.
Right? So they probably do have to when they ride too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That might be a podcast. All hail 32.
All hail 32.
All right. Thanks, Hawk. Thanks to all the riders out there. Let's all remember to love the bike we ride.